Elden Ring Nightreign is all about the loot that you can gather inside of the 14 minutes per day before you take on the final Night Lord. You likely get 90% of your loot from boss drops and chests, but did you know that some enemies actually have unique items tied to them? These items all have a low drop chance when you take on their tied loot source. However, some of them are really cool. I have 7 rare loot drops that I have found in Nightreign and I'm going to show you them all today. Starting off with the enemies which you likely kill all the time as they are found within the castle. These are the Banished Knights. Killing them actually has a chance to drop the Ordeviz Greatsword. This sword is one of the best greatswords in the game that you can come across, especially if the Night Lord you're fighting is weak to holy, like Kjolster. And it also has an insanely good Ash of War which deals a lot of damage when charged up. This isn't the only thing that the Banished Knights can drop though, as they also can drop their shield, the Crucible Horn Shield. This is an amazing upgrade for you shield users, especially the Guardian players. However, the Banished Knights aren't the only enemies in the castle with rare drops tied to them, as the Banished Knights also have a pair of rare drops linked to them. The first is unfortunately just a blue greatsword, but it is named after them, quite literally, as it's called the Banished Knights Greatsword. But it can be a welcome upgrade if you're on Wilder and it's better than your current starting weapon. The Banished Knights also have the possibility to drop their shield similar to the Banished Knights if you are looking to obtain or upgrade your shield. They will always drop theirs as a purple rarity. The next item on this list is going to be another shield, but this shield we're not going to use like you normally would. You can if you wanted, but this shield is actually an amazing damage buff. The shield I'm going to talk about is the Jellyfish Shield. This shield has an Ash of War which you can pull out, use, and then put away. This will grant you a 12% damage buff for 30 seconds, and this damage buff buffs all type of damage including magic, ranged, and melee. I've actually had this shield quite a lot, as you can just get it from killing the jellyfish anywhere on the map, including the ones near the basement of the castle. Now this item isn't as rare to drop as the others, but the enemies that do drop it do not spawn consistently. This is the Ringed Finger, and this weapon drops from the fingers, and I'm pretty sure it has an insanely high drop chance from killing the really big finger enemies, which spawn on the outside of the crater. It's not a particularly amazing weapon, but it's certainly a funny one, and I did want to include it just because of that. The final weapons on this list are the Madness weapons. FromSoft did recently put out a patch buffing the drop rates of these weapons, but they are still incredibly rare. The best place to obtain these weapons are via the Frenzy Tower event, which only spawn on 6 out of 80 possible seeds between Libra and Sentient Pest. The Vike's War Spear is an insanely good weapon if you can get your hands on it during a Libra run, as it will absolutely destroy him, as it is his only weakness. But those are my 7 super rare item drops inside of Nightreign. Do you know of any more? If so, leave it down below in the comments, and if you like my videos, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.